Hello, I'm Dr. Tsoi, the acupuncturist, herbalist, of course, the artist. Today I'm going to talk about two things. Number one, I'm going to talk about this painting. Number two, I'm going to talk about how to be a best artist. So first things I'm going to talk about this painting. So you can see this painting and I have needles. That's the acupuncture needles. I use acupuncture needles to create art and use the feelings of acupuncture people, viewer, and think about acupuncture, think about Chinese medicine. Of course, that's a part of me. And so I use these needles to create the art. And of course, you can view this artwork, just put the paintings on the table, and the needles stick out. And you can see you can have different feelings and have a different depths. And also spiritually, this is very educational and very so spiritual. So because if you go home, you think about paintings, if you remember my paintings, if you watch the video, if you remember my video, and that's more spiritual. And so, you first physical work and you review it and go through your brain and to digest the information, and you go home, you still think about the needles and what the acupuncturist do and what the acupuncturist says and about this art. So if you're going to think about it, you're not forget me and you think about this art. So that's the very spiritual things and continuation of thinking, and hopefully you can spread out that kind of feeling to helping yourself physically to understand about the Yin and Yang, five elements, and the Chinese culture, how to balance the system, and what's the Confucius says, what's the Buddhist doing. All those things, if I get those things, just a part of it, and I think I'm helping a lot more people, and also and to push the envelope more and to bring the new things for the humankind. So this is the artwork, and here I stand up, and you see the work, and of course you cannot see the needles that well, but then you ask what's they are the stuff there, and actually I use the tubes. That's the one hold acupuncture needles to guide it to do acupuncture. So I think about many years how to use these tubes to create art. So that's why I do these things to do, and of course it's very spiritual, and you can think about how to do the acupuncture, how they guide the needles in to the skin. And of course the dots, that's the purple dots there, that's the one the pieces hold the needles. So before you tap in, so you need to take that out, and you tap the needles in. So that's the tap through the skin. So that's how that's the one to hold the needles. So this I use that, drop it, and then more like the glue on, and then create the art. And of course on the side here, you can see what I signed. I put Picasso there. Actually, I like this can be a part of Picasso's poetry. I do many, but can be the other way to do it. And the Picasso's, they can twist the art a little bit, but we try to twist the Picasso's poetry. So how the Picasso's poetry look like? Okay, so of course you may say that, hey, that's not really look like a Picasso. Exactly. So we don't want you that's look like a Picasso, or you can think about Picasso. That's a completely different things. So, and see also your spiritually continuation, then they are dig into your brain and push you to do different things. And I think Picasso's really push me a little bit more, and they give me the energy, creativity energy a lot. So I love him a lot. So that's why I cannot without thinking about him. So that's the things, and of course here on the side here, I sign my signature there. So that's the signature, and you can see my name there. I have a copyright, and also I write down the dates. Of course, I like to be original. So that's about this painting. So now I'm going to talk about how to become best artist. So of course, from my opinion, I think it's the be a best artist. So like I have one video already, and so to be yourself, and that's very important. So be yourself is more like try to do whatever you can to be yourself and be the best yourself. And of course, you have a process at the beginning, like you grow up, you do keep doing, go to school, you learn from professor, you learn from teacher, you learn from artist, you learn from old master, and all those things learning you enjoy. But that's not necessarily is good art. So it can be art, but not necessarily is the best art. And so you want to be a best art, so you really want to know everything, try to know everything. Of course, you're still going to miss here or there. So, even the art book or the college or the museum or the gallery, so you go to. So right now, the information age, I visit the galleries, visit the museum, and the computer. And I can visit so many gallery a few hours every night, sometimes like 10, 20 galleries. And of course, I visit the museum, repeat so many things. So you get into those information, get to the brain. For me, to go to the gallery, to look at the museum, I really enjoy the arts most of the time. But of course, some arts I'm not enjoy so much. Not means they are very bad, anything, just different levels and different enjoyments. But that's the art they are creating. But for me, I twist a little bit more. Not only just look at the art, so I enjoy it, but at the same time, I try to avoid be them. And because see, I get bored if I going to look at the art is more like somebody else. And all those years I create art, I just cannot try to if anybody said that this work look like somebody, I really don't like that. And because I really wants to be myself, and so to enjoy the arts and create arts is a little different. And I do enjoy a lot of artwork in the museum galleries, different galleries, but I really hate to be exactly like them or even to be the artwork even close to them. So that's why I see my opinion is not only just be yourself, so you really have to educate yourself to, of course, it's not really copy them and actually so on the different levels try to avoid be them. And so you have to jump out of a box. So it's not going to be in their shoes. And of course, see, I create art, so paintings or not a painting or sculpture. So you see, that's why I see so different. So these paintings, you can see, oh, this is can be a sculpture or this is actually paintings. So you can hang in, and so it's very questionable. Of course, that's the envelope I push, and also the needles. When you're so close, so you're going to see the why use the needles. So the needles talk about the yin and yang. The needles is very harsh, sharp. That is belong to yang, and the canvas is very soft and white. They more belong to belong to yin compared with the needles. Of course, then the canvas itself is white, and then the right up and this is a little dark. So that's belong to yin. White belong to yang. This is a little dark, belong to yin, and I write with that. So that's the today. So I'm going to help you understand more we talk more. Thank you for watching.